This is part 3, building the spokes of the Mouse's Marvellous mechanical medicine wheel. This is the 3/4 inch solid aluminium bar. Turning some spigots down here. These are the supporters here, you can see, for the ends of the spokes. TIG welding them into the end. And there's about 500 hours TIG welding in this project, of which I've never done before in my life. I say that, never done before. I've done it once, and as you can imagine, on your first go it wasn't the prettiest, so I've basically learned on this project, which has been quite good fun. So there we are. I've turned the ends down now to take a M20, I think it is. Might be M16, I can't remember now. There's that many different things on this. So turn them down, deburr them all. This is the very end of the spoke. This will screw into the threaded holes that you saw in the hub in the last video. This is my support assembly so that I can actually spin it at a good speed. Just an old bearing tied to an axle stand clamped to the bench. Make sure we don't have anything flailing around. Bit of close up here so you can see. In the meanwhile, Carl's cooking these are the spigot assemblies that are going to hold the bearings for where the helixes mount, which you'll see later on. This is our fire that we built because it was freezing middle of January when we started doing this. So this is our little log burner fire in there, keeping us warm. Little hark to Carl's project, and it's fan assisted. And a bit of a heat exchange on the top there, as you can see. Typical us little contraption setup. And that thing keeps us nice and toasty. So on to the threading. Just going to run a die nut down these. You can see I'm using the tailstock in between to square up the die, make sure everything's nice and true. No wiggly threads going on down there. This is probably the fastest and quickest way. And with us knowing how much work we had to do on this, there's no way I'm sitting there cutting each one of them by hand on the machine. So you can see here we've actually had to press the outer races of the bearings into the tube there to stop it from collapsing, because it's such a thin wall and we're taking the majority of that out. So I've just ghosted through with a 24mm drill bit, and then that's a 1-inch tipped cutter, non-tipped cutter, sorry, tool steel cutter. I've gone through that, slotted that over the spokes in the right place. Spigot hole through the middle. And here we are TIG welding all of this up. So I've done all that, fully seam welded all the way around. And this is where I've got the majority of my TIG welding practice in there. And you can see that giving them a nice good clean brushing up and wipe down with acetone in between of each one. And again, we just left a set of the outer races in there to help stop the deformation quite as bit, with it being aluminium, which it does tend to distort quite badly. That's all 10 done. Nice happy big thumbs up there, as you can imagine. In the meanwhile of me welding that, Carl's chopping these little spigots, and these are going to become the anchor points for all of the fireworks for the helix and for the spokes. This is actually my mate giving me a bit of a one-to-one. This is at real time. I apologise for the bad focus, because as you can tell I'm not weldtube.com, so it's just to give you a bit of an idea of how fast it is, what the process looks like up close through the welding mask. I'll give you a better appreciation for just how much work is involved when you start seeing this bit here, which is at about 40 times play speed. We made 280 odd of these, I believe, in the end. There's a couple of spares in there, but these are all the solid mounts. This is what's going to mount the main, like I say, this is the spoke mount, so these will be the drivers and the effects for the outside of the main wheel assembly. And that's me laughing there as I've just dipped the tip, as it's known, having a bit of a giggle, and then pulling off a couple of nice welds here. I think you see myself, ooh, look, come on now, look at this little cow. So you can see my little stack there in the left hand side, slowly working my way through all 10 of these, and there's 6 of these mounts on the end. of each of the spokes. And I basically just got a little jig set up in there. You'll see I like my jigs when it comes to doing repetitive work. There we go. I actually welded across the ends and down the sides as well, which you can't really see, but it just gives you a bit of a close-up idea there. And there we have it. So you can see, there they are, all welded up, which, to say I've never held a torch before, I'm quite impressed with all of that to myself. I was quite happy with that. I've certainly seen people do a lot worse, especially on aluminium, which is a different beast altogether. And you'll see you soon for the next part, which will be putting together all of the helixes, and that literally took days and days and days of work. So as ever, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe if you want to see some more, and we'll see you in the next bit, which hopefully, like I say, is the helix.